Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Beth Roy, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you this morning. I hope everyone is well. I know here where I am, we're getting more snow. It's already started snowing again this morning. So, fun. My camera's a little sideways. I'm not sure what's going on here. Anyways, we'll fix it when we turn down. I'm just coming over here to my computer, making sure my notifications went out. We are going to do a fun card today. Let me scoot over a little bit there. Maybe that's a little bit better. So we're going to do a fun card today. It's called an upright Z-fold card. So I haven't done one of these for a while, and I noticed a lot of people doing them, so I decided to give this fun card a try again. So I'm probably doing mine a little bit differently than everybody else. I'm just going to show you my way. There are lots of different ways. This is called a Z-fold. So I'm actually using a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Good morning, Linda. To make my cards. So I'm going to show you, oh, forgot my trimmer. I'll grab that when I point the camera down. It's back there, but I was going to show you how I cut the card and score the card. So you might have seen my little sneak peek, but today we're going to make this card. Good morning, Jenny. You made it. So this is my husband's Valentine's Day card, because, you know, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. And we don't really celebrate big. We like to show each other we love each other all year long. So, but I do like to make little special cards. He uses them as bookmarks and I don't know. So this is it. This is called a Z-fold, and so it folds like this. And so I thought it would be fun to make this little scene. So it folds up flat, so it fits in a regular medium envelope from Stampin' Up! It's probably backwards, but I'm going to show you some tricks about how to get these letters with the adhesive on the back so they're easy to stick. And I'm going to show you the scene. And then mine has a full card on the bottom. So it's a Z-fold because, here, this makes a Z. So there's a double Z, which has a whole nother piece on the bottom, and they're really cute. They're really fun. And then it opens, and I stamped all these really fun things from a bunch of different stamp sets. And I'm going to show you all of those that I used and some that you can use. The funnest part was just going through my stamp sets and seeing what are some of those sayings that you may not say all the time, but you definitely want to say when you want someone to know that they're special to you. So I also made my younger son, he's out there playing video games with my niece. I made him a replica card. So if you have note cards and you are into fancy card folds, that's fine. I made a little note card using many of the same pieces. These were some scraps, so I couldn't let those go to waste. I'm going to show you how I cut those. And then I used a couple different sets for him on the inside, and he loves it. And since I'm hand delivering it, I stamped up his envelope as a scene too. Excuse me. So I had a lot of fun with this. And then I thought, well, you know, my older son that's still at home, he's going to feel left out. So I made him a special card too. Only instead of love and all the lovey-dovey stuff, I used the silhouette dies, and I cut out the word adventure, and I used the adhesive foam. So I'm going to show you some tricks on that too. I don't know if I brought a piece over, but I'm going to show you a trick on that too. And then I stamped the inside with some different things that I wanted to say. So these are some really fun cards to give my boys tomorrow, and I wanted to share this fun fold with you. Who knows who's gonna get this extra card I'm making? but I wanted to share that with you. Jenny, are you guys getting snow? It's snowing here. What about you, Linda? You live in New York, so I'm sure you guys have snow too. Probably more than we do. Okay, so drum roll, please. Winners from last week. I remembered to do it last night. These 3 people are going to get a card from me. So, Rusty Morris. Good morning, Eileen. I hope you got my message, Eileen. You won a couple weeks ago a card from me, so PM me your address, please. And Claudia Krill, you won a card from me, and Audrey Ormshaw from the UK. I can send you a card too. Oh no, you can't hear me? I don't think I did. I don't know, can you hear me now? Maybe it was down too much. Oh, Linda, you're getting snow. We have been getting snow it's like every other day. Way more snow. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. It is snowing here, so it is possible that my internet may pop out. So just FYI, because I am in the basement. My studio's in the basement. So anyways, Eileen, you won a card a couple weeks ago, so PM me your mailing address and I'll get that out to you. So our winners from last week, Rusty Morris, Claudia Krill, and Audrey Ormshaw from the UK. So yay! I love sharing my cards with you guys. So, Jenny, your dogs are always barking. You should make them some more treats. I got my coffee in my Be Kind mug. Did anyone send out their cards last week? Anybody? I actually had a horrible week. Jenny could tell you. I've cried more days than I want to count. So I got behind on a little things, but I have my cards all ready to go. I did send lots of packages and catalogs and things for my business. So I do have a few cards. And I know that all my cards went out that I made for the church because Jenny takes care of that. So thank you, Jenny. You're so awesome. So, okay, let's get started. I'm so excited to share this card with you. Yes, Linda, 8 cards. That is awesome. Okay, everybody close your eyes while I turn this upside down. Okay, here we go. Let's hope my stand holds out here because it's not wanting to stay attached to the table. Okay, I have to wait for my computer to catch up here. I'm a little crooked, I think. That's all right. I don't craft straight anyways, so. Okay, so if you missed the very beginning, I showed these 3 cards that I made. Now they are Valentine cards, and you'll notice they are not pink, they are not red. I chose sets and things that my men like. So I actually have a son that is away. He's an adult. I don't have a card for him. He doesn't, where he's at, he's in training. He can't really have a lot of things. And I don't know if he, I mean, we send him letters, but I don't know if he would want a card necessarily. But I do send them to him. So he may get one later in the week. They're actually closed down because of an ice storm and a foot of snow where they don't normally get snow. So, but I made, I have 2 other sons, and I made a fun card, and I'll show you how I did these fun things on the background. And then I stamped I didn't think my older son would appreciate a heart, so I made a square. You know, make your cards based on your recipient. And then I stamped some fun things all over the inside because I have a lot of things I want to say. I want them to know how important they are. Now this is for my little guy, and he loves cards. He loves when I make him cards. So I made him one that's a replica of the fancy fold we're going to do today. So today we're going to do what is called an upright Z fold. And so I used all kinds of words. There's so many stamps that we have that have such awesome sayings. And because I'm hand delivering his, I stamped up the envelope real pretty too, because he likes that. And this is what we're gonna make today. And so it folds out, so I don't know how well you can see that, but it sits up like this. I will put a picture on when we're all done today. But it sits like this on your table. Now, I have seen it without this extra piece right here. But when it goes this direction, it doesn't stand up very well. Now, if you make your Z fold, a lot of times you've probably seen them sitting this direction. And of course, they sit up that direction, and this is why it's called a Z fold. It makes a Z. So I made mine this way. I'm going to show you how I did all these little pieces, and we're going to stamp. And I picked fun colors that I like. So we've got Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Basic Gray, Smoky Slate, and I did use Soft Suede for my deer. So you could, if you don't want brown in your color scheme, you could use gray, just to keep it all the same if you wanted. So, and then I stamped my envelope with a little mountain. So I used Waterfront, because I used this mountain and I love this speckle, and on the big background I actually used this set of trees as well. So don't worry about mix and matching your trees. Nature has all kinds of different things, so use what you love. And hopefully I don't get any phone calls, because I just realized I forgot to put do not disturb on my phone. So anyways, I used Snowfront, and I used well, I didn't use this tree. I used all these little trees, the lake, the mountain, the deer, and I love this little piece for the ground. So you have lots of choices. These sets work really, really well together. And then I decided to have a little 3D element down there, so I pulled out Mountain Air. So my older son's card, I used this for the background mountain. Let me get rid of some of these envelopes so I can show you. So you pull out the sets you have and see what works for you. So today, I really want to know, as I make this card, if you want me to use the 2 sets I used on the original, or if you would like to see one with this Mountain Air stamp set. So I haven't made a big one with that one, but we can try it. We can do it. And I'll show you how I did this lake part so that I pulled in that pool party. Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side. And I want to tell you, I'm going to show you where all my phrases came from. So we have lots of sets that you might buy it because you love the flower. Nobody gets me like you do. That was perfect for the inside of my husband's card, because that's so true. And then this one is heartfelt, and there's lots of fun sayings. And I didn't really want a heart on there like this, but lots of love. And then in Lovely You, You're My Person. And then I pulled out this stamp set. I haven't used it for a while, but it has You're Amazing in there. And I love that. And then I used the heart outline from the snail on the inside. This is the one I used for my older son. Life's a Beautiful Journey. You Make the World a Better Place. So pull out some of your sets that you haven't used for a while and use those fun sayings. This is where I got the P.S. I Love You. This Ridiculously Awesome is inspired by Rhonda Wade when she got $1 million in sales, and I love the sayings in this set. Here's another good one. The silhouette scenes. Together is the perfect place to be. Now, I didn't stamp that in mine, but I wanted to show this to you because if you have this, you have all these great sayings. You don't have to stick to Happy Valentine's Day and just I love you. I mean, you could have all these other fun things. And then this set I love because it says the good things in life are better with you. So I love all the different fonts. I love all the different sayings. So, so let me give you the measurements and all our bits and pieces. And as we go along, I'm going to grab my trimmer really quick. As we go along, I'm going to give you some helpful tips on a few things, like this love cutout. So, are you guys still with me? Let's see. I'm going to pull some of these over so I can show you what I used. That way you might be inspired to pull a few things out. So, if you don't like this scallop, now I used, it's called Stitched Be Mine, I think now, but before it was Be Mine Stitched. So this is a great thing. It goes with that, it goes with one of the other stamp sets that I don't actually have. I just bought the dies. So you have all these dies, but it has a scalloped, stitched edge. And it just cuts the edge, so you make it as wide as you want. And I also used this large heart that's scalloped. It cuts the scalloped piece, but I wanted the heart that was left over that it cut out, and that's what I used here. So I just keep that for later. I might need it for something. And then I also wanted to show you, if you don't have the scalloped, if you don't have the heart dies, you could use, these are the ornate borders, and you could use this if you wanted to have a little bit different look. So that's a possibility. And then I'm going to show you a trick in a little bit at the end, how I did this adventure with the foam. I'm going to show you a little tip with that. And then this is where the love came from, the well-written dies. So we have the word love. Now I also wanted to tell you, the playful alphabet, you could spell out a word. If you don't have these dies, you could use this to spell out love, and it would have a little bit different look, but still fun. And then I used the Majestic Mountain dies. And I hadn't used these for a while. This set's been sitting on my shelf and I loved it. So I wanted to pull it back out and ink it up. So I used this tree here for the 3D. But on my son's card, I wanted to show you a fun way to use. This actually goes, it's an edgelet, or an edge die that goes with these trees. And I used it just to create a little background. So instead of having a scalloped, I used that on the back of, behind my little element there. So I wanted to show you guys some of those tricks because I was just talking to someone about how there's just stamp sets that I haven't inked up. And so this is perfect to pull out what you love. I love mountains. I love these different stamp sets. So I've pre-cut a couple of these different trees. Not sure which ones we want to use. And then I have the love. And this has adhesive on the back already to make it easy. I have a piece of Misty Moonlight Designer Series paper. Of course, I'm using up my polka dots because I have little strips left. So this is perfect. And then this is a piece of Pool Party. It is 1/2 inch by 3, and this is 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. So you could make yours longer if you wanted to go across the whole page or whatever. And then I have that heart die cut. If you don't have hearts, feel free to use a rectangle or a square. The idea is just to have something that pops up away from your background. And then I have a piece for the background, a white piece that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have the same size for the inside. So I have 2 of those, and then I have my envelope. So I'm going to set this over here. I'm going to show you how I cut and score this. And I have my Stamparatus over here so I can show you how I set this up so I could stamp it. Now we could freehand it. It's not going to make any difference if it's absolutely perfect. So I want to tell you about this product real quick for the love. So we have this product back in the adhesive section of the catalog on page 160, and it's called an adhesive sheet. And what you do, I don't know if anyone's used these, but I love these. They're one of my favorite products that we have. You take this out. Through this package over there. Okay, and I have just a piece of white cardstock. And in order to cut this out, and it has the adhesive backing, you can cut these. I like to cut them down so they fit my cardstock better. And then you adhere it. So this comes off like this. And this is sticky. And it has strips. I guess it's in strips. It has strips on the back. It's a little bit different. We used to carry a Sizzix one. So I guess it's a little bit easier. You just pull it off, pull the strip off. I line up my cardstock and put it on the full sheet. So I cut this to be the same, just a little bit, maybe a 1/4 of an inch smaller than this. And then I lay this on, and I start at the top and I just put it on there. And then this backing is still on. So when you die cut your word, you run your die through, it comes out with the adhesive on it. So hopefully that made sense. But one of my favorite products, and if you like to die cut words, it is definitely a great thing to have. So let me put these to the side. So I have a full sheet of Misty Moonlight. It is 8.5 by 11. Gosh, I don't know why that was just my brain just popped out there. Okay, so we're gonna cut it at 4 1/4. And then hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let me scoot up a little bit. So I cut it at 4 1/4. I've been cutting so much lately, I need a new blade, but that's all right. So we have our 2 pieces. And I'm gonna just, this one's just gonna get scored right at 5 1/2. And the beautiful thing about our trimmer is it has the cutting blade and the scoring blade. I use my bone folder. Probably can't see me. I'm just using my bone folder to make that edge really crisp. So we have this piece. That's going to be our base, just like you would a regular card. Now here's the next piece. So we have this piece, and this is the piece we're going to do the Z fold on. So let me pull this down so you guys can see a little bit better. So I'm going to score this at 5 1/2. Make sure you use your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. So we go 5 1/2, and I want it to be scored really well. Then, so this is called the valley. So where you scored is the valley. So you want a valley fold, and then we want this, or I just did that backwards. Hold on a second. Okay, so we want to flip it over, if that makes sense. So we want a valley fold, and then we want to flip it over, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4. So if you don't have a scoring tool, your trimmer doesn't have one, you can just fold it. Okay, let me put this out of the way. So we're going to fold this way. I think I put my cardstock. Okay. You're gonna fold at 5 1/2, and then you want to fold it back. So it's actually, this is our bottom, at 2 3/4. So you're just folding it in half and then folding your bottom in half, but back the other direction so that it sits like this. And there's our Z part. Okay. So what we're gonna do is this piece is gonna get glued right on top of that piece, like this. Now you will see, that little piece that's hanging off. You will see sometimes people will make this piece a little bit smaller, so it's like a layer. I have seen people make them just like this, but I couldn't get mine to stand up. So what they do is they put something here that kind of like an easel card, but I didn't want to cover up my background. So I went ahead and made it like this, which I have seen other people do. So there's lots of variations on how to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together because it is easier to glue them together before you start adding all the other elements. And I like to use liquid glue, so I have a little time to move it around before it gets set. So, do you guys want me to do it exactly the same, or would you like to see Mountain Air? Now, Mountain Air has a little less trees. It has a little more, I mean, it's a different style. The other ones are like a watercolored look, and Mountain Air is not watercolored. It does have the reversibles where you can add in some color, but okay, I'm just pressing that together really well so that it is secure. So now our card will stand up. And we can use all that space on the inside to stamp fun messages and write a personal message. Okay, I'm going to put my glue up for a minute here. Create some space here. I'm running out of room. I feel like I'm cramped. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece 4 right here, and I'm going to start stamping it. And because I'm kind of matching what is going on my heart, I brought in my Stamparatus so that I could kind of make a template for myself. So I put this, let me turn this so I have my measurements at the top. You can buy these grid sheets to fit your Stamparatus, and I love it because then I can use the lines to line up where I want everything. So I got these pieces. And all right, I am going to go ahead and use this mountain right here. And I want to show you one of the fun features of the Stamparatus. Now, these are very well loved stamps. Definitely love those. So I'm going to lay this where I want it. And I have it kind of hanging off. of the side here. And that's because to make my mountains go across this plate, once you stamp it, you can take it out and move it. You can slide it over in these grooves and then it continues to stamp. So it makes this fun effect without having to guess where that needs to go. Okay, so I'm gonna use Smoky Slate for those mountains. And my other favorite thing about the Stamparatus is if you stamp something and you don't like how it's stamped, or it didn't stamp exactly dark enough, you can restamp it. So what I'm going to do is my heart is kind of going to be like this. And so after I stamp here, I'm also going to stamp here. Good morning, Tracy. So glad you popped in. I hope you're doing well. So, just to show you, because this is what we're going to do on our paper. You take it out and move it over a space with your hinge. Oops. And I'm doing this so that I can line up my heart later on and re-stamp. So I kind of want it to have the same position. And this is just how I did it. So you see how it creates this mountain range. So I'm going to go back here to the second slot. I'm going to put my paper right back there on the, I have it 1 inch away from the edge. And I'm going to re-ink. And I have a cloth over here. I forgot to wet my chamois, so I'll be cleaning these all on my pad over here. That's okay. So there we go. Hopefully you guys can see everything I'm doing. This is probably one of my favorite tools. This and the Take Your Pick tool are some of my favorites. So there we have our mountain range. And it's in a line. Obviously you could freehand it, and it wouldn't matter if it matched exactly, but that was just me trying to have it exact. So the next thing, I'm going to put in some of these mountains that are just like the outline instead of the solid mountain. And I'm going to use some, I'm actually just going to hand stamp those. Now I meant to move these down a little bit because I noticed when I put this in my card, and this, I probably did the same thing I did yesterday. I put it up too high because I want my heart to be like this, and then I only get part of the mountains, but that's okay. So we're gonna slide that right back where we had it, and I am going to, I might just hand stamp the rest of it, but I did want to show you that trick, just for. And I also did, I lined up my trees so that I could just easily stamp them in one swipe. And then I added in some trees, so they don't match exactly, but they're pretty close. So, and I did my lake, I stamped it in the exact same spot so that when the card is closed, it looks like it lines up. Because this will go in the regular envelope, and then when it folds out, it's kind of in line. So this is going to get hand stamped. Let's do our lake. Let's go ahead and do that one. We'll put that on the Stamparatus and I'll show you. So I don't remember exactly where I put it. That's okay. Just going to put it in there, and I'm going to pick it up with my other plate, and I forgot to put my magnet on. That's all right. And this was stamped in Pool Party. So my color scheme, if you missed it in the beginning, it's Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Basic Gray, Smoky Slate, and then I have a little bit of soft suede in there. My magnet is too close. I need the bigger one. My magnets broke, so I have two little ones and then the regular one. Okay, so I'm going to leave those mountains right where I had them, and I'm going to freehand the rest of it. Well, except for the deer. Let's do the deer, because I want those kind of in the same spot. So the deer are from that Snowfront set. I better start closing up some of my inks. We all know what happens when you have too many inks open. So who owns the Stamparatus? And do you use it very often? So the best part is you take your plate out and flip it over, and then you can pick up you can have more usable sides and pick up more things. So these are going to be soft suede. There we go. And then I'm going to freehand the trees. But you could load everything up on here. So I just kind of put this in my card, how it would be. And you don't, like I said, it could be two different things. They don't have to line up. This is just how I wanted my card. And then I kind of put my heart where I thought I might want it to go on my page so that I could look right here. And I actually stamped my lake and my deer so that I could line those up. So let me show you. I'm using this grid paper to help me make a template for myself so that I can line it up. And let me stamp that lake really quick so that you can see. This saves me time. So if I was going to make a ton of cards like this, I would use how I'm stamping it on my grid paper kind of as a template to help me line up anything like the heart or whatever. Okay, so this is what it looks like on my card. And so I can kind of dry fit that and see. It doesn't have to be exact, but I want it to be kind of close. And I'm just kind of doing this. This is kind of where I want it. So we're not going to have a ton of mountains showing. That's okay. If you wanted more, you would start stamping lower so it shows more on your cutout. So if you don't have a heart, if you have a square or a circle or whatever you're using, you can just kind of guess where you want that. And I don't have it straight up and down. So I want to make sure that when I put it on here, I have it sideways. And so I can see when I put that down there, I have my deer on my heart, and I have a little bit of mountain. I did my template a little bit different yesterday, and that's okay. It can be different. They don't have to be all the same. I took it all apart so that I could show you how I did it. So that's okay. So you just put this where you want it and how high you want that to go up. So if you want more mountains, you can either stamp another row down lower and make it really full looking, or you can just have a little bit there on the top. So I'm going to put it about there. And we're going to stamp the mountains. And I did smoky slate. Yeah, I really, really love the Stamparatus. It's great for everybody. And I'm going to move it over and ink it again. And stamp. So I might have this one turned a little bit more than I did the other one. Just kind of look and see how you want it. And then you just wipe it off. I typically use the chamois. I forgot to wet it before I came down here, so I'm just using a little cloth I have next to me. Okay, so then we're going to put our deer on there. I'm going to show you how I filled in the trees. So I used basic gray for the trees. So let me get this out of the way. Now, a lot of these stamps are photopolymer. So I do have my foam mat, and your plates don't close completely when one's in because of the hinge. So you have to take one out and lay it down. And I'm just going to put this off to the side. I have a little bit more room here. And we're going to, I'm going to slide that stamping, piercing mat, whatever they call it, stamp mat in there so that I can stamp on here. And I'm just going to try to mimic some things. Let me grab, I guess I can stamp off on this. Okay, so I have this mountain range that I want to add in, and then I'm going to use all these little trees. So I have, there's several sizes. And of course, this tree is bigger, so it's more like it's in the front here. And then I also need the ground. I like this ground. Hopefully I won't lose any of my stamps because I don't normally pull them all out. That's okay. So I'm inking up that outline of a mountain, and that's in the snow front. So this solid one's in the waterfront, and I love these sets. And I'm just gonna pick a spot over here and stamp off because I want it to be a little lighter. And I'm just stamping right over top of that. Now you could go lighter and just use smoky slate. And the other thing is I stamped those mountains on the inside of my card, so by having it on my Stamparatus, I could make it match. Now you don't have to. That's just how I did mine, and we'll just freehand it. Let me clean this because I need a block. So we're going to start stamping our trees. And I'm going to use basic gray, and I just have a couple different blocks here. Put these on a block before I lose them. I think this one will fit on Like I said, these are well loved, so you'll see that they're very pink, very stained. So I'm gonna do this big tree over here. And I'm just adding trees in. And then I'm gonna come in with the heart. Now, this is what I had such a hard time with yesterday, and I don't know why, but I actually used my other grid paper that has, it divides the grid paper in half and it creates a little square, so that I could line up the direction of my heart. So this goes like this, you can kind of see. So when you stamp, you want to make sure it's the same direction as it's going to be on your card, so that your trees are straight. And I'm just guessing, so don't worry if it's exact. If you want it exact, then I recommend to definitely set every element up on your Stamparatus and go from there. So I'm just filling in the background with some of these little trees. And see, I think I stamped that sideways. That's okay. And some of them aren't going to show on here. Okay. Then we're going to bring this in and make sure you're straight. And hopefully I'm still in the camera. There we go. So it's very similar. And then we have this little tiny tree if you want one that's way back there in the back. So it's a little tiny tree way back there. And then I used this bigger tree. It showed a little bit on my original card, but I don't think it's gonna show on this one. I used it down here just to fill in, to make it look like it was a forest scene. So if you take your heart and you line up like this, you'll see this one isn't in the scene, so no worries about stamping that on there. And then I'm actually going to use the smoky slate for the ground. And I have all my different blocks over here that I like to use. So I recommend always looking at the stamp sets you want to buy, and it will tell you in the catalog what is recommended. So I'm using smoky slate, and I stamped off once. Oh, whoa. That was close, wasn't it? And I'm just adding some little shadows of ground in there. There's lots of different ground pieces between the two sets. So if you like some of the other ones a little better, just use what you got and what you like. Button my thing again. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp on my heart. And I'm just going to try to get it similar so that it's okay, and then I used this speckle stamp from this Waterfront. I love this set because you can make really fun cards with it. I have used it a ton. And I am going to stamp, I stamped the sentiment from this, Love Never Gives Up, which I love that. I'm going to pull that out because we're going to stamp that in the Misty Moonlight as well. So I just wanted to add some speckles in there of color. So you can just spread it around, and they don't match, it's okay. And I stamped off. I wanted it a little lighter, and I just added some speckles. It could be rain, it could be whatever. I mean, it's snowing here. You could say it's snow. No one would fault you. And then like that. Fun. I love adding all kinds of fun texture to my cards. If you stamp with me very long, you will find out that is my favorite thing. Okay, and then we're going to stamp Love Never Gives Up. I'm going to stamp that on this background piece. And that's in the Misty Moonlight. And I'm just going to stamp it. Let's stamp it over here. I'm just going to pick in a space that's a little bit lighter so it shows up really well. And hopefully I'm straight because I'm not right over top of my paper. I'm just going to hold it there for a second and then pick up. I really want that ink to soak in well and transfer well. And oops. All right. So let's see here. I do need to stamp the inside piece. Where I laid that. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to hand stamp it really quick. So I'm not using the lake or the deer. I'm just using that mountain. So I'm just going to stamp it really quick. And I don't worry if my words are exactly straight when I'm doing something like this where I'm putting a lot of different things. So it's up to you. You can always use your Stamparatus. However you like. So let me put that away. I'm gonna grab this one. And I'm just gonna use the Smoky Slate, oops, and stamp off on that background mountain. I'm not worried about using the exact colors I used on the front. I just want to fill that in. And then we can stamp the inside. I'm going to put some of these away because I'm starting to, I want to stamp my envelope with that. Let's put this other stuff away. You can stamp as little or as much as you want. And sometimes I just like it to be really busy, and sometimes I like it to just have a little bit. So who has done the Z-fold before? So there's our envelope. So I'm going to put my ink away, except for here's our inside. And we want to stamp some more words on there. So I stamped the outside, love never gives up. Let's go ahead and glue that in. And on the inside of my other one, I had stamped, you are amazing, you are my person, nobody gets me like you. I stamped an arrow from that heartfelt bundle because I love the arrow. Even though I didn't want to necessarily stamp a heart on the inside, I thought the arrow was really fun. So I'm just gluing the background piece onto my card front. So here's where it folds. We want to pull that down and add this onto the front. I'm just trying to get it even. So then it opens this way, and this is where we're going to glue our inside piece. And you could glue a white piece over here too and write a long love note if you wanted, or if you're sending this to someone else. I like to send Valentines to my grandma's too. The whole point of this card is just letting someone know they're important to you. And you know, it is Valentine's Day. It's not super typical traditional Valentines, but I think the point is showing people that you're thinking of them and you love them. So I am going to take my heart here, and I'm just kind of looking where that lines up the best. And I think I put my original one down just a bit further. Again, that's okay. And I'm just going to put glue on this bottom half. And I'm using liquid glue. You don't want to put anything that's going to squish out up here, because then it won't open. So let's do it about there. I'm just going to make sure I didn't, oh, I did. Make sure you don't have any that squishes out. I got it up a little too high. So make sure you wipe that off. Because we don't, I have one of those little adhesive erasers. You can get this at a craft store, but they're very handy to have. I want to make sure none of that glue is going to stick out. So there's our fold. And then I have these two pieces. So I have my little scalloped piece, and then this is going to go on top. So I'm going to glue these two together, and I had it just overlapping the heart a little bit. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together so I can see where I want them. I used a little much there, but it's okay. I'll just use that adhesive eraser in a second and get all that out of there. Trying to get it straight. There we go. So I didn't put anything on with dimensionals, and the reason I didn't is because this is kind of thick because of the folds and all the cardstock. So I didn't want anything sticking up too far, because if you're mailing a card like this, it has to be I think it's like less than 1/4 of an inch, and it has to be able to go through the machine. If it doesn't, you have to pay, they have to add an extra stamp, and it's called hand stamped mail. So just FYI on that, you could put this on with dimensionals, and if you were hand delivering it, which I am hand delivering mine, but if you were hand delivering, you could use lots of dimensionals and make everything pop up if you wanted. But I am gluing all of mine flat just to show you a mailable card, so that I literally have glue everywhere now. So I'm just putting this on. I'm lining it up with that right hand side on the edge. And I'm just overlapping the bottom of my heart a little bit. You could overlap it a lot. On this one, I overlapped a lot. I pulled my heart down a lot further. So whatever works for you. I'm just making sure that's straight on the edge. Use Sunlight eraser, get some of that glue that's showing off. Now we're going to peel off the backing from that love. Oops, wait, I forgot my trees. So I did 2 trees, or 1. So this card has 1 tree. And these are from that mountain air. I don't really want to cover up my deer. I think I'll just use 1. So I just have 1 tree over here for a little element, so it's not so plain. You could use twine or whatever you have. Oops. Make sure that you don't put your glue up too high. Anything that hangs over, you want to make sure that your glue is not up here so that it doesn't stick to your card. And then we're going to take your love, and I have a little tip. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and stick that so that my fingers aren't stuck to it. And you can, I have mine overlapped my tree a little bit more. I'm going to move it over just a tad. And then it already has I have adhesive all over my fingers. This already has adhesive on the back because we used those adhesive sheets. So once you get it where you want it, you can just press it down and it just sticks. I love those sheets. They're amazing, especially if you're cutting out little pieces or delicate pieces. It makes it so much easier to glue down. So there's the front of our card. And I chose the word love. Those well-written dies, they have love you. So you could add you down here. And I guess I should have looked at that. On this one, I stamped this over here. I probably looked at that when I was planning my card. But it's over here. That's okay, because when it's sitting and I don't know if you can see this on camera, and it folds out like this, you'll be able to see your greeting. So no worries there. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to finish stamping the inside. And I'm trying to think of what I want to put on it. Any votes for what's on the inside? I used an arrow. There's, I looked up something, and I don't even remember what it was. It was something on Pinterest, and it had mountains and arrows, and it was some boy-themed bedding or room decor. And so this is in that heart set, and I just grabbed it. I thought it was really cool, so I put it along the bottom. These hearts are from the Snailed It bundle, or yeah, what's that? Yeah, Snailed It, the stamp set. You're amazing, love you lots, you're my person, nobody gets me like you do. On my son's card, I put P.S. I love you. And on my other son's card, I put life's a beautiful journey and you make the world a better place. So we have so many things we could stamp in there. Anybody have any votes on what to put? I'm trying to think of what other things we have. There's so many sayings and so many different stamp sets. I think I'm gonna do Nobody Gets Me Like You Do, and that's from the All Things Fabulous. I love that. Trying to find a block that it fits on. Now, some of these stamps, the words are red rubber, so I would take this cushion out, but this is photopolymer, so you want to make sure, especially when you're stamping words, that you use that with the photopolymer. So I'm just lining up my thing. And like I said, when I stamp a lot of things on the inside, I'm not super concerned if they're 100% straight, but if you are, you can use that stamp apparatus. So I'm going to stamp Nobody Gets Me Like You Do. And I think I'm going to stamp You're Amazing. And then I'm going to do some arrows. This may be a giveaway card for next week. And you can use it for anytime you want to give a special card to somebody. I was thinking there might be a set that had a smaller arrow in it, but I just don't remember if we had anything like that. I need to look and see. So now I'm stamping You're Amazing, and that's from the Ornate Thanks set. I'm going to pull this to me just a little bit so I can see. I love the different fonts, mixing things up. And this Heartfelt set has a good saying that says roses are red, violets are blue. So lucky to have a friend like you. So I think that's really cute too. I'm going to use this big arrow. I'm going to do one in the Misty Moonlight. I'm just doing it along the bottom, so it's a little bit different than I did the other one, but that's okay. I want to bring some of that pool party back in. I'm going to grab my pool party, and I'm going to stamp that arrow again, but I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. Fun, right? Let me test it out down here. Make sure I got it all inked up. Okay. Fun. And you still have room to sign it, and because it's such a big card, you actually could put another white piece on that other side and you use that whole side to write your message. So this piece is going to go, whoops, wrong card. This piece is going to go, so you open it, and this piece is going to go right here, and you could glue another white piece up there and have plenty of space to write. But if you just want to sign your name, I mean, what else do you need to say once you say you're amazing? It has been a morning of constant glue on me today. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. So I'm just gluing that and that inside piece. I love those arrows. I think I'm gonna start using those some more, especially with the mountains. I am just trying to take down some of my stamp sets that are on my shelf, not getting as much love. and using them a little bit differently. And I love this. You could, like I said, this doesn't have to be for Valentine's. It could be for any occasion, anytime you want to send somebody a really special card. These really are quick to make. I mean, you don't have to do all of this where you lined it all up. A lot of cards, this area is completely different than the back. So, there we have it. What do you guys think? So, I moved my sentiment over a little bit. Probably would, I don't know, it depends on how you like the look. And then we used all these fun layered elements, and this sits like this on the table. So this will pop out, and we have just a matching scene. And then when you open it, you have all this fun message. So check out your shelf. What stamp sets do you have that have sayings that you thought, I would never use that saying. Who would I say that to? Because I thought, I don't know who I would say nobody gets me like you do. Of course, that would be my husband. He's number one on that list. But you are amazing. I love using this sentiment. And I just like using things in a little bit different way. So on this one, I stamped you are amazing several times. Lots of love. You are my person. I just really filled it up. And I can still put a piece over here and write a long message if I want to, or I can just sign my name down here. But so fun. And then again, on my son's card, I did adventure, and I used that tree outline from the Mountaineer. He doesn't want love on his card. He's 16, but I wanted to give him a little pick-me-up. It is Valentine's Day after all, and I always get them candy. So you make the world a better place. I absolutely love that saying. That is from the, let me see that stamp set. I can't speak. Beautiful World. And both of those sentiments are from there. And I love that font. And I love those sayings. And then on my little Joe's card, he's going to love this. I made 2 note cards for them, one each. And I used a lot of the same elements. But my older son isn't going to want scallops. Joe, he loves everything. Everything's beautiful, so he doesn't care. But I used You Are Amazing, and then the P.S. I Love You comes from the Ridiculously Awesome set. And I love those sentiments that are in there. So you can stamp the envelopes a lot or a little. So here's this envelope. I did one little mountain piece for this one. And this has some trees, and then my little, since I'm hand delivering this with his candy tomorrow, I stamped him a whole scene because he enjoys this. He absolutely loves it. So I'm not mailing this, so that's okay. I just did a whole scene. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know we went a little bit longer than we normally do, but I wanted to make sure I showed you all the different products that I used and how you could use those. Oh, also, last thing, I was going to tell you that tip. We have these foam adhesive. They come in little squares, and that's what this is die cut with. So you put, it's like the adhesive sheet. You have, it's a rectangle or a square piece of foam. Let me grab the package. So there are these foam things, and you can die cut them. And it's great for shapes or words or anything that you want to make 3D, but you don't want to have the hassle of using a bunch of dimensionals. So what I did is you put the cardstock on this, just like you did on those adhesive sheets. It's double-sided. And then when you die cut this, so then the cardstock's on this side, you put this down and you run it through your your cut and emboss machine. I always want to say Big Shot. That's what we had for years. Cut and emboss machine. And then when you pull it off, the adhesive is going to be on this side, and this side is your cardstock. So what I did is I left it in my die. I took off the backing, the adhesive backing, and I laid it down where I wanted it and stuck it to my card. And then you can use your take your pick tool. I did poke out like the little E and the little, the A and the D, and you put it down, and you can use your take your pick tool to kind of push out that word, but it's already stuck to your cardstock, so it keeps its shape, the integrity of the word, I guess. I tried it without doing that before I remembered that another demonstrator had given that tip. And my word stretched out. It wouldn't fit on my card. I couldn't get it to line up with the cardstock I had die cut because originally I hadn't decided to make it 3D. So these are fun. So that's a tip if you want to have a 3D word and you use those. They're called foam adhesive sheets. They're really fun. So I hope you guys give all these a try. If you have any questions about products, you can always message me. I'm happy to help you decide what you might need for a project or how to use something. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to help you. You can shop at my online store at bethroy.stampinup.net. And here is my host code for February. I almost said January. I'm not sure what month I'm in. Anyone else have that problem? Anyways, that's the host code for February. So I hope you guys loved these cards. I loved showing them to you. You'll notice I like picking a color scheme and going with it and making themes based on the color schemes and all the same products. So Tracy, I hope you have a great day. Linda, Jenny, Eileen, everybody that joined in and said hey to me. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday and stay safe. I know, Jenny. Yeah, it isn't December. Boy, doesn't it still feel like it though? I seriously feel like we just time warped a few months. And it's just been one big chaotic crazy, but fun because I have been crafting and loving it, and I'm trying some new stuff or revisiting things I haven't done for a while. So totally loving it. So I'm gonna post a challenge later today. So kind of watch for that. I hope you guys will participate. Also, I had a class that ended, the sign up actually ended yesterday, but I will take any stragglers today if anybody wants to sign up for that class. It's called the Layered Die Cut class, and this is 2 samples from that class. And so I die cut everything. You get a pack, 2 packs of ribbon, 2 different ribbons, and you get these elegant faceted gems. It's a product class, so you get a couple things of ribbon, and you can see all those details. If you look in my events, it will be in the past events because it ended, but you can, if you want to sign up, you still can do that today, even though it's 1 day past. I have a couple kits left. So let me know if you want in on that. And thank you all who have signed up for my class. I appreciate that so much. So don't forget to give me some love, give me some likes. If you want to win a free card for this, you can share my video. Please share with all your crafty friends. Everybody's at home. We're going to be snowed in this week, I think. Not really, but kind of. And crafting is just so relaxing when you really can't get out and about. So share with your friends. I also look at who commented and like and love my video. So thank you all so much. Have a great Saturday, and I'll see you soon.